Hello, welcome here. So I'm Christelle. It's very nice to meet you. Very happy to be recording this podcast. I hope it's going to be one of your regular rendezvous with me, podcast rendezvous. Um, my name is Christelle. My brand is Tricot et Stitch. I'm French. I live near Paris, in the suburb. I'm 41 and I am a mom. I work at home. Tricot Stitch is my full-time job. I'm very, very happy to be doing what I love and what I'm passionate about as my full-time work. What I do is I design knitting patterns. I dye a bit of yarn, and I also host workshops to learn knitting techniques. I'm specialized in socks. That's my favorite project. Socks and shawls, mainly socks and shawls. So why a podcast in English? Well, because since I've started designing knitting patterns, I've always translated everything in English. Actually, it's the other way around. I design in English because I find it's really simpler and more effective and clearer. And then I translate to French. All my notes are in English. So that's why I've always put everything in both languages on Ravelry, for example. But the rest of my content was exclusively in French because I was developing my brand only for the French market and French-speaking market. But now that's changing because I'm very happy to be part of big yarn festivals this year. And so I really wanted to prepare everything for you English-speaking people, so that you find everything you need. And if you were wondering about me, and so that we can have a bit of contact that way. So from now on, everything for Tricot Stitch will be bilingual, both in French and English. So patterns, it's already the case, but my website is now in English, and I'm putting content as I go in English. But for example, if you are a newsletter subscriber, I sent a newsletter last week to give you some hints to choose your colors to make sure that they fade into each other and that you're not getting a really neat stripe effect, very marked stripe effect. And that's in the blog, for example. You don't have to keep the newsletters. You may, but you don't have to keep them. Everything will be, evergreen content will be put on the blog so that you can access it anywhere and any way you want and when you want. So I'm going too fast here. So I just wanted to tell you also that you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Ravelry as Tricot and Stitch. I will put all the names in the show notes so that you can find me easily. And so I design knitting patterns, accessories. Mainly, so you will find some shawls, socks, my great passion, and also other accessories like mitts or hats, but basically shawls and socks. The workshops I'm hosting regularly are also socks workshop. And so I wanted to tell you about two things especially for you English-speaking people. My website is not completely in English, that's for one. And two, I will be attending 3 international international yarn gathering this semester. So the first one is Le Fil de la Manche. So yes, it's in France, but it's near Dieppe, and I think it's quite easy for people from United Kingdom to come. So I will be at Le Fil de la Manche. I will be just after Le Fil de la Manche, I will be at Breitdagen in Amsterdam. So it's so cool. I'm very happy. And that's completely breaking news. I just I knew about it just this very week. I will be in Porto as well at the Knitting with Friends festival. Yes, I'm so happy. So that's three dates. If you're not able to come to France, I also have some dates in France. All the dates are in my agenda on the website. So if you want to check that out, everything is in there. So that's what I wanted to tell you basically, and then introduce myself a bit. So I have 4 kids. The oldest is 12, the youngest is 1.5, and in between, so that's 2 girls, and in between I have 2 boys who are 9 and 6. So the days are pretty hectic. But that's cool. I'm really very, very happy and fortunate, so that's cool. So I'm stay-at-home mom, but rather work from home mom, because I work from home. Tricot Stitch is my full-time job, and that's so cool. That's so cool to be able to do what I love day in and day out. That's so cool. So my latest published pattern is the Millésime shawl, and I have it here to show you. Here you go. So yes, you can see it pretty well like this. Okay, so that's Millésime. It's already available on Ravelry. It's between a semicircle and a crescent shawl, with the very interesting construction, because you start with the center panel. So you start here at the bottom here, and with the shawl you really never have a lot of stitches on your needles. That's what is pretty cool about it. So you start with the center panel, then you pick up your stitches on one side and knit the right wing. There is a bit of short rows here, there is a bit of lace, a bit of stripes with a slipped stitch pattern. Okay, I really love about that, what I love about that design is actually a lot of things. I love the tassels. I love the slipped stitch pattern, and I love how the colors play together. You see, if I go that way, you cannot see really the stripes. It's disappearing because the colors are melting into each other. They're blending, they're fading. You cannot see them. So that's because, well, I have to say the lighting here is pretty awesome, so you can still see the colors pretty distinctly, but trust me, if I turn down the light a bit, you won't be able to see them distinctly. And that's one thing I love about this design, is that it enables you to play with color. You can choose 2 yarns with a strong contrast and have a striped effect on your shawl, and you can choose 2 yarns very close in contrast and get that really cool faded blending effect. It's just like you had a third color here on that part, and that's really what I wanted to explore with the shawl. It was, what if yarns were like paint and you were to make those paints like a painter would do? What would that be? What would that give? And that would give that effect. Yeah, something like that. So you can be very bold in your color choices, like go with not with complementary to color. You can go with something completely on the opposite on the color wheel. If you choose something with a similar contrast, they will blend. That's the magic. So, because here we have a deep burgundy and a lovely, lovely brown. And I mean, they blend in perfectly. So, yes, that's, yeah, you can play with color. I love that idea. And just a word that you have a, hello, a little border here, knit in short rows, and starting with I-cord here, and it grows in width when you start the short row section. And then, well, you have an I-cord border like this all around the shawl, so that the finish is perfect. So that's millésime. So that's a cal for millésime if you want to knit along. It's hosted in my Ravelry group. It's bilingual as well. You have a chatter thread in English and a chatter thread in French. So do not hesitate to join us. There are already a few knitters who have joined the cal. It runs from February the 1st, so officially it has not started yet because today I'm recording and it's January the 31st. So it starts tomorrow officially, but it doesn't matter because what matters is the end date, and it ends on June the 30th. So you have to have finished your millésime for June the 30th, and you have a FO thread note chatter to post your pictures, and there will be prizes to win at the end. So I'm going to offer some prizes, some yarny goodies. Une Louve dans les Bois, Ingrid, who is the dyer who worked with me on millésime, she's going to offer prizes too. And I also have another sponsor, which I'm very excited about because I love what they do. It's Wool Bags. It's a French bag maker. That's a wool bag, basically. I love them. I mean, it's so cool. The design is quite simple, but it's all the little details. It's so well done. Look at this. I mean, yeah. And you know what? I had a Christmas splurge on wool bags. That means on Christmas night, not the 24th, the 25th, you know, when you're just, you know, like, oh, Christmas is already over, it's finished, and you start going down the slides to January. I bought 2 bags, and I just had a crush on them. I bought 2 bags. And the day after, I received a message saying, okay, you bought for like 60 euros of bags in our shop on Christmas. We have a little Christmas present for you. We offer you a coupon code of the same amount that you spent on Christmas. So it was double treat for me. And I chose 2 of the bags because, I mean, when you go in their shop, the most difficult part is to choose. Everything is gorgeous. And yeah, and so Wool Bags is a sponsor of the Millésime Cal. So all that is brand new news. It's not been announced in the group yet, so you have all the information in avant-première, so that's cool. And I also have a friend, Christine, who is offering 3 prizes, I think she told me, but don't worry, I will show you everything. She lives next door. So as soon as the projects are ready, the prizes are ready, I will show you what she offers for you to win. Okay, so that was for millésime. I've told you about my shows, so that's one thing. Now I just wanted to show you what I'm working on. So it's in that bag. That's why it was really handy to have it around. So I'm working on a little sock pattern. It's not a new pattern because you can already find them on Ravelry, and I don't have any sock blockers at hand. Sorry, got to be more organized next time, but I'm going to show you like this. So the pattern is called Edelweiss. It's a sweet little pattern inspired by spring, so spring is coming. And I'm working it in my yarns, so that's some yarn that I dyed. I was inspired by a picture on Pinterest, Art Deco picture, and the kit is going to be called Art Deco. I think I can show you the inspiration for this. Just bear with me 1 minute. I think it's there. Yes, there you go. There, you see? That's what inspired this bold association of colors. Yes, it's bold, I know. It's like, yeah, you need sunglasses. And so that's Edelweiss. It's already on Ravelry. I'm going to relaunch it. Why? Because I'm adding a new heel technique I've developed for another pattern, which is called Grimoire, which is not available in English yet, but it will be soon. And if you're familiar with short rose heel, you know that it's not always really nice looking. Sometimes you have to, you know, it looks a bit sloppy. That's always something that I didn't like about that technique. So I came up with this idea of this line here. Don't mind the hole here. I've not waved my ends in yet, that's why. But you know this line here? Okay, that's a technique I designed myself. Yeah. Okay. Will you adjust? Yep. Okay. There you go. That's called the talon souligné in French, which it translates to underlined heel. And that's because you have this line of stitches that's kind of underlining the heel. Yeah, so that's the underlined heel. And it's coming to you with this sweet little pattern of sock, so Edelweiss. Edelweiss has been around like for 3 or 4 years, I don't remember. You have this little, you have this sweet little pattern here of elongated stitches together with some twisted stitches here, and well, it's not really lace, it's more textured. And so I'm relaunching the pattern with the new heel, and it will be available for my next show, which is Fête de la Laine, which translates to Wool Festival. It's going to be in Malakoff, so it's in the south of Paris, and it's going to be mid-February, 15th and 16th of February. So if you happen to be around, just come and see me. I will have kits for those. I'm going to show you how it looks in the skin. Yes, kits, sock, it's Art Deco socks. So there you have enough to do both sides, obviously, not just one side, both sides. There is 2 minis because with one given, depends on your tension, on your gauge, but you might run out of yarn, and I don't want that to happen. So that's 2, just to be on the safe side. And yeah, works well together, very bold, but I think works very well together. But again, I like, you know, colorways that pops, and very, very intense colorways, or with a lot of speckles. You can't see them really here, but there are some dark red speckles, but not much. That's why you cannot see them very well. And I mean, the light here is making it seem like fluorescent, but it's not. But it's really pretty. It's really pretty. And it, yeah. Okay, so that's Edelweiss. I'm working on that. I'm on the second sock. On the second sock. I'm on the second sock. I'm almost done. And after that, I don't know. I have to think about what I'm going to do. I have a lot to do. But in terms of knitting, I've not decided yet. So it's going to be a design, that's for sure, because I'm only knitting designs these days. I don't have any time for the rest. In the early days of Tricot Stitch, I have to put all my energies behind my designs and my yarn dyeing. But yeah, I have some projects that I started before working Tricot Stitch full time that are going to wait until I reach the balance. And that's fine by me, because I'm really enjoying myself. What I wanted to show you is just maybe another 2 skeins of yarn that I dyed. That are going to be available at the Yarn Festival, but right after the Yarn Festival, I'm going to reopen my Etsy shop. So if you see something you like, just check out the Etsy shop. Something I have forgotten to mention is the best way to stay in touch is via my newsletter. I love my newsletter subscribers, and I have a lot of surprises, a lot of coupon codes, a lot of news in avant-première for them. I really give them all the information in advance and all the special stuff. So when I'm going to reopen my shop, my newsletter subscribers are going to know the dates. I think I'm going to host a little, virtual party or something. I don't know. It's really going to be a happy moment for me. And I just wanted to show you, for example, that's a yarn combination I've been petting a lot over the last couple of weeks. It's not one skein. There are 2 skeins of yarn here. There is one mohair and silk in the Poussière de Lune Moon Dust colorway, and another one speckled, which I skinned together because I wanted to see how it looked together, and I think it looked pretty good. And the other one is the Morning Papers, named after a song I love very much of Prince, the Morning Papers in the 90s. And I think those go very well with these. And I've been, caressing, petting those lovely yarns and playing in my mind, see what design I could come up with them. So that's the kind of colors you can expect from me. There are some pretty fluorescent and intense colors, but also I like just, speckles on a more nude background. It works very well too. I love that. Okay, and that's another one I wanted to show you. It's for 2 things. To show you a bit of colorways. So that's a set of minis for some colorful socks. It's called acidulé, which is what you say about sweets in France. And what I wanted to tell you is that I love to sponsor some sock related events. So in France, I'm already sponsoring 4 sock related events. So that's year-long sock cars or special sock workshops that I'm sponsoring. So I just wanted to reach out and tell you that if you are organizing some sock related events and you'd like to have a sponsor, just give me a shout out. I won't be able to sponsor everyone if you are 200 to ask me, but if I have a couple of requests, I just would be very happy to be sponsoring your cal, your sock related cal with some sock goodies. I mean, that would make just an awesome pair of socks, don't you think? There is like this chartreuse. That's a variegated colorway called Halloween Dream, with some grays and fluorescent green and some pinks and purples. It's really cute. That's a beautiful coral neon. And then you have, I think it's almost, no, it's a bit lighter, a very beautiful red and a ballerina pink. And it works very well together, and I think it would make awesome socks. And that surprise I'm about to send to someone hosting a sock workshop based on some free tutorials I made because I have some tutorials for socks in French, and I have not translated them in English because there is a wealth of sock tutorials out there. So anyway, you can always watch them if you want to revise your French or if you want to revise your sock techniques. But I think you can find all those techniques in English very easily. But yes, she's using my tutorials and sock recipes to host a workshop, and I'm going to sponsorize her by giving out this for one of the workshop attendees. So that's what I wanted to share with you for this first encounter. I hope you will be, I don't know where you live, and but if you happen to be around the towns I mentioned just before, I'd be so happy and delighted to meet you. And if you're more far away, I hope we'll have an opportunity to meet in the future. I certainly want to continue developing Tricot Stitch and do some yarn related events all over the world. That's all over the world. That world is enough, not the worlds. That's one of my dreams, just to be traveling the world and doing yarn events. That's just one of my dreams, and I'm currently working on realizing it, so that's why I smile all the time. So thank you for bearing with me. I hope to see you soon in a new podcast, and do not hesitate to say hello, and everything you need is in the show notes to find the patterns and the website and all my Instagram, Facebook, everything handle. Okay, so see you soon guys. Ciao.